Will Tony and Ziva get Martine on their side at the end of episode 7? Jonah and Martine, across the street, are making every effort to get Dejan to breach Raining Fire's firewall in order to destroy the business and Graves. Dejan is vital to destroying the firewall because he constructed it, which would let everyone know that Raining Fire is weak. Therefore, the company's stability and reputation will be in ruins when Jonah and Martine murder Graves. In addition to sharing their heartbreaking pasts with him, Martine discloses that she has been chatting with his son by pretending to be him. If Dejan assists, they pledge to bring the two back together. In a private exchange with Martine, Dejan warns her that Jonah is equally as vicious and nasty as Graves during Jonah's raid on Dr. Lang's residence. She is obviously impacted by the statement because, near the end of the show, she asks Jonah a few mild inquiries about his intentions without pressing the issue. Tony and Ziva are conscious of the obvious change in their relationship's energy due to the planted bug. They exploit the breach between the antagonists in the final scenes of episode 7, where Ziva secretly corners Martine in the marketplace and plays the video of Tali's attack. Markham's vague motives cement what doesn't work with Tony and Ziva. In contrast to the previous episodes, Tony and Ziva episode 7 meticulously concentrates nearly entirely on Markham and Aranow's past, going back to demonstrate how they became close in their contempt for Graves' methods. The conclusion of Tony and Ziva episode 7 doesn't go any closer to exposing Markham's motivations than the start, even though it gives the antagonists a significant platform. Without any further information than Archie's analysis and his conclusion that Markham is probably a dark empath, the message of Tony and Ziva episode May 7 be confidently summed up as follows: Markham is a deadly villain by the end of the episode. As a result, Markham's unbelievable past exposes his shallowness as a villain, a flaw that permeates Tony and Ziva. The same troubling aspect applies to Henry's death as well. Though Tony and Ziva never really explains why Henry's death affects Tony so much or focuses on their friendship, the fallout from episode 6 of Tony and Ziva intriguingly drew comparisons to NCIS by highlighting how alone Tony feels in the wake of Henry's death, which didn't happen for similar deaths in NCIS. The crime drama doesn't really support what Tony and Ziva say about anything, including the central plot point of the story, the friendship between Tony and Henry, or what motivates Markham. This demonstrates how its most significant developments are based on dubious foundations, which invariably diminishes Tony and Ziva's plausibility. Tony and Ziva episode 7 not fleshing out Markham betrays the spin-off's unique advantage. Even though the episode mostly focuses on Markham's team, Tony and Ziva episode 7 highlights the show's main flaw in that its goal of elucidating what drives him is conspicuously unfulfilled. The NCIS spin-off isn't as comprehensive as it could be with its other stories, despite the fact that it flawlessly captures Tony and Ziva's relationship issues and their struggles to keep one going. Due to its distinct advantage over the Mothership program, this draws attention to Tony and Ziva's unrealized potential. In fact, Tony and Ziva's decision to switch to streaming after their tale gained a lot of traction on network TV allowed the NCIS spin-off to concentrate on the specifics, which had to be spread out over several seasons because of the inherent limitations of a procedural television program. Tony and Ziva effectively utilizes the freedom and attention to detail that come with streaming when the titular pair is involved. The antagonists, supporting characters, and even the case that places Tony and Ziva at the heart of a continent-wide plot that causes them to flee, don't do the same. Given how much time and focus might have been spent on various facets of Tony and Ziva than Tali and the title pair, it seems like a lost chance. This is particularly relevant when compared to NCIS, Tony and Ziva, which selects such a feature, and NCIS doing the exact opposite because it is network television.